This is Stephen with Sailing in Our 50s. I'm aboard the boat today. I haven't told you guys exactly what the boat is. I've mentioned it some. Our boat is a 1982 Cal 25 MK2. 25 feet long. The boat's 9 feet wide, so it's a little wider. It's not 8, but it's 9 feet wide, so that gives us some stability and comfort. It's got a fin keel on it, 2,500 pounds of fin keel underneath. It has a 9.8 Nissan outboard motor on the back. It's rigged for a diesel engine on the inside. This one didn't come with a diesel engine. It has the tank and everything is there. If I wanted to put a diesel in, everything is already there for it, and I could do that. But the outboard seems to work just fine. What I'm doing today is I'm on the boat doing a couple of projects, and I want to make a sailing video here pretty soon. I really want to do that, but I've had so many things to do, and we are planning to do a trip from here at Cypremort Point, Louisiana, to Cameron, Louisiana. That would be sailing out of our bay, Vermilion Bay, and sailing along the coastline just offshore, 3-4 miles offshore, going west to Cameron. Holly Beach also is right by Cameron. That's about 80 miles from here. It would be the longest sail that my wife and I have ever done if we do that sail. The longest that we've ever sailed is probably about 35 miles. So we're going to try to do that here in a few weeks in July, take a little vacation and do that. And the thing about us too is that, you know, I have to sail on the weekends, and when I'm able to, I work full-time at a medical hospital in Shreveport, so I have to, you know, sail on the weekends. We're hoping one day later on when we retire, we can maybe sell the Cal 25, get a bigger boat, and do a little bit more extended cruising. I want to show you what I took out today. This old school depth finder here was on the boat. Now when I bought the boat, the guy who I bought it from said, well, it used to work, but it stopped working. There was power going to it and everything, but the gauge doesn't come up anymore, and as you can see, it's old school. So I went ahead and took this off today, and I put a new depth finder on the boat, and I just put a Hummingbird on here. I'll show it to you here in just a moment. And I'm not going all through the steps and everything as far as me installing it, because it took me a long time and it was fairly difficult. But now that it's installed, here in just a minute I'll show you what I did, and then maybe if you want to do something like that on your boat, you could. And also put some comments down below and let me know what you think about how I've installed this and everything, and I think it'll work out fine for me. So we'll show you here what we did in just a moment. Okay, here we are outside in the cockpit. I took the old unit out and I installed this Hummingbird Piranha here, and it's working fine. You can see it's reading 5 feet, 83-degree water temperature, and that's about right. Here in this marina, it's about 5 feet, give or take. This boat runs about 4.5 feet deep with the keel on it. You can see right here, I put some Lexan. Got a piece of Lexan at Lowe's, and I glued that onto the bulkhead here, and I sealed it with marine sealant. I just used Gorilla Glue construction adhesive, and then I used Starbright marine silicone sealant to seal around the edges here. And I've got the cables running through the center of it, drilled a hole, and then I sealed that real good. I'm going to let that dry, and once I do, I'll paint the area, and it should be good. So that's what we did there. I want to show you what I did on the inside. I was able to use the housing for the old unit to make it look nice and neat, so there's not cables hanging everywhere. Let me show you what I did on the inside here. Now we were able to use, as I said, the backing right there. This backing here is for the old unit, and I've just got the one cable that goes down. So that's fairly neat. That should work out pretty good. And I've got it wired to where I can flip a switch down there and the unit will come on and off. I can also turn it off here outside. I plan on not leaving it outside, but disconnecting it and storing it inside. And then when I want to use it, I can just hook it back up. Once everything dries, I should be able to take that off with no problem and roll the cable up. Okay, here we are down below, and I'll show you how I installed the transducer. Of course, there's different kinds of transducers. There's the transom mount. There's a through hole, which you have to cut a hole in the hull and install that. And, for one of those, I actually bought one of those, and I'm returning it because I don't want to have to haul the boat out and cut a hole in the boat and put it in there that way. So I was looking for a transducer that I could shoot the signal through the hull. And so that's what I found here with this this unit that I just showed you. Take a look at what I did here. Here it is. You can see there that I've got it just glued down, and it's once it dries it should be nice and solid. There were different opinions as far as what to glue it down with. I just went ahead and used the Gorilla Glue, and I glued it down that way. As I said, there are many opinions. If you have an opinion on what will work, some people said don't use silicone, it would mess with the signal, so I used the Gorilla Glue. But if you have any knowledge on that, I'd appreciate your comments down below, so leave those comments for me if you would. Okay, I'm back down below, and before I sign off for the day, I want to show you the trip that we're planning. And we do plan to video the entire trip, so we should have some good sailing footage on our trip. About 85 miles or so from Cypremort Point, Louisiana to Cameron, Louisiana. And let me show you on Navionics the route we're going to take here. Okay, you can see Navionics here. We're right here. Our marina is right here in Vermilion. This is Vermilion Bay, Louisiana, just south of Lafayette. Lafayette's right up here. And here we are. The boat's right here. You don't want to sail out this way. There's too many reefs and it's shallow through here. I've already been warned about that. So this is about 8 miles by 14 miles across this bay right here, give or take. And it's all about 10 feet deep. So what we're going to do, what we're planning on doing, is we're planning on sailing out through here. This is called the Southwest Pass right here. Sail through the Southwest Pass on out into the Gulf of Mexico. This is the Gulf of Mexico here. And then let me pull it in a little bit. And here's Cameron right here. So the route then would be here, out into the Gulf. Then we would go west this way, like so, and right on up here to Cameron. Right up here is Lake Charles. You can see Lake Charles right there. So here's Cameron, and I'll pull it out just a little bit more if I can. There we go. That'll give you a good view here. So from here to here, and as I said, that's about 85 nautical miles. So we plan on sailing 85 miles, going to Cameron, and staying here in Cameron for a day or two, and then after that we'll sail back. So all in all, that should be about 190 miles or so, and that will certainly be the longest sail that I've ever done. As I said before, I've only sailed for about 35 miles. My wife and I have been sailing for about 4 years altogether. This is our second boat, so we're not experts at sailing by any means, but we enjoy doing it, and we're getting better and better at it. So for us, this is a pretty bold trip. I realize there are people that cross oceans, but for us, if we can do this trip and do it successfully, that'll be a good thing for us. And you've heard the old saying before, the best sail is the one that you come back from.